So I'm Alexander Surya Gianni Mole on the right hand penguin duck birthmark. So one thing is, there's these kids who like to pretend they make my ideas for me. Supposedly some very wealthy kids or sons of wealthy men. And they claim they get their experts to make them or something. So experts, huh? So about if you have good analytical skills and you're an expert at analysis, you know what an expert is. They've been, reading and learning for years. So they know all those bold-faced words. They know all the jargon of their field. So some of my ideas, for instance, my tech ideas, there's certain jargon that would be used by experts if they made my ideas. That's not in my ideas. You want to know why? Because I'm not an expert in tech. I just know how to use reason and logic and critical thinking. So a way this kid's full of shit is if experts made these ideas, or someone who had computer know-how or understanding, there's a certain way they would describe things and a certain language they would use and certain jargon they would use when making these ideas. It wouldn't just be reason-based and reason and logic and be like ask experts. Not to mention if they're experts making them. They wouldn't say ask experts because they're already experts. But there's a certain language experts utilize. If you compare my, I'm not saying I kind of am. I have a master's in medical science. If you compare my science ideas, some of my science ideas, my real ones, the real documents, to my tech ideas, you'll see there's certain jargon I use because I actually studied science, so I'm familiar with the language. If you look at my tech ideas, there's not a lot of jargon I use. There is stuff I make up, like a biometric template. I made that up, but that was just to capture what I was describing. Regardless of that, if you look at my tech ideas, they're not made by experts. There's certain languages that experts use. So that's how these ideas weren't made by experts, because there's limited jargon and there's limited details. And it's evident, and if you look at them, they're preliminary models, and some is worked through, but it doesn't have all these details an expert would have, because they actually know how to program. They know code. They know certain jargon that could explain things better. So don't trust this bullshit artist saying, "Oh, my experts made it for him." No, they didn't. I made it myself. And just using reason and logic, critical thinking. Look at safety net. Look at continuous biometric verification, etc. Does the word biometric template even exist? If you Google it, I just made that shit up. So just trying to capture something. So I was trying to capture, when you use an iPhone, when you, do facial or fingerprint for the first time, you have to set it up and roll your finger and do that. After that, that's what I was calling the biometric template. So that now once it's saved in the phone, you can do it. And that's what I was calling it. I just made it up. So look at the ideas that they claim experts make, and then look at the language, and then you'll see clearly when made by experts, it's just a guy using reason and logic and critical thinking and just analyzing something. If you're an expert on analysis, and then it should become obvious. This rich kid's experts didn't make the ideas or anyone's experts. I made it myself. Praise Jesus. And I do have a master's in medical science. So there is some jargon I know in science. So that's why I can explain some of these science ideas pertaining to biology much better than, something in tech. Key point.